Hey guys, this is Courtney from Lil's Bloom, and today we have a pick a card reading, which is a little bit different from what I normally do. I normally do, of course, astrology and tarot readings, but I've been feeling really inspired by doing a pick a card, so that's what we're doing today. This reading is about when your breakthrough is coming, and this is in terms of blessings, abundance, healing, whatever it is that you need. And for many of you, it might be career, it might be love. We're going to see. I haven't seen these cards yet, so I'm super excited to take you on a journey with me to discover what the messages here are today. So this is pile 1, lapis lazuli. This is pile 2, fluorite. Pile 3, herkimer. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. And pile 4 is amethyst. So go ahead and take a moment to do a quick scan from the heart and decide from your intuition which pile feels right for you. Once you do that, you can go ahead and choose the pile from the description box down below. I have time codes and we will hop right in. If you guys enjoy these types of readings, just know that I also, for the month of February and a few days in March, I am offering an abundance reading where I will look at all of your lucky days in astrology, and it will be followed by a tarot spread, kind of like this, where I'm asking how you can best utilize this energy for the greatest abundance. So let's go ahead and get started with pile 1. All right, pile 1, you guys chose the lapis lazuli card. So let me just go ahead and read what that says in the book, which is the Mystic Rebel Oracle deck, who is a friend of mine. She's amazing. Lapis lazuli is a master of communication. It comes to let you know that it's time to speak your truth. Notice that it doesn't ask you to speak the truth, but rather your truth. There are feelings, thoughts, and intuitive instincts compacted down in your being from time gone by. That has been slowly causing a buildup and a blockage within you. It brings up an intense expression. Oh, there was a fly on there. Did you see that? I feel like that definitely means something. This has been slowly causing buildup and blockage. The good news is you're ready to release it, and lapis lazuli is here to help. It brings an intense expression of things suppressed, but the relief felt is just as intense and profound. Okay, so maybe you guys have some things that are on your heart and on your mind that you need to share. So we are gonna see what that has to deal with as we move on to see when and what your breakthrough is going to be, but it definitely seems like communication could be part of that. Okay, so the first cards I have here are the tarot cards. So we have the 4 of Wands, the Justice card, and the Ace of Wands. So many of you guys may be experiencing some interesting things happening within relationships. This definitely seems like it. I mean, typically when we're talking about speaking our truth, it's to somebody else, right? There's somebody else that needs to hear our message, what we have to say. So I definitely think that this is relevant for you guys. I think that you guys have maybe found somebody that you feel like is a true partner that you're very excited about in this breakthrough, and it's time to speak your truth to them and tell them how you feel. With the Justice card, it feels like what blessing is coming to you is a fair and balanced relationship, something that you might not have had in the past. Maybe you've had a partner who doesn't enjoy the same hobbies as you, who doesn't have the same spiritual interests as you, who doesn't give as much to the relationship as you. But there's something here where I feel like you may have encountered relationships that were just not as exciting as this one, to be honest, because the 4 of Wands, this is a card of Venus and Aries. Venus and Aries in astrology is typically going to be when you encounter a relationship of somebody of like-minded interests. Aries is a sign of I am, of the self. So with Venus here, it's like you're finding yourself reflected back in that partner. And for me, I'm personally really attracted to people who are, of course, have some similarities, but I really am attracted to people who are quite different than me. But in this case, there is a desire for some sameness or equality in some facet of the relationship that I feel like maybe was missing before, and honestly probably disappointing you guys. And maybe you were settling and didn't realize how much you were settling. I see that especially with the Ace of Wands here, because this is all of the fire signs: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is all of our passion, all of our drive, our sexuality, our ambition, our hope. It's the thing that inspires us. So there's something about this relationship that I feel like is really reigniting your flame in a really big way for you guys. And maybe you're sitting on this, and this could be talking about you in the future. If this isn't resonating now, this is probably talking about you in the future, finding some type of relationship that is matching more of your soul energy. And the lapis lazuli card is telling you to not be afraid to share your feelings with another person, because I really think that it is a balanced partnership. It is a balanced union. And so you can trust that your feelings will be reciprocated. So let's go ahead and see more of the energy of when this will come, which we have the shark and the whale. So it looks like this is going to come once you've already done some deep diving within yourself. The shark and the whale cards, they are both about doing some emotional exploration within yourself. For example, both of these animals will go really into the depths of the ocean. And that's, of course, our deep emotional nature. And the whale in particular actually gives birth. I think it's the blue whale, gives birth so deep in the ocean that scientists have never filmed it or have seen it in person. And so I feel like there's something really special where this relationship is going to be born at a time in your life where maybe it's really unexpected. It's something that comes out of nowhere, but out of a place of deep spiritual healing. And with the shark card, I feel like you guys are going to pursue this relationship. The shark is a hunter, and it comes up from the depths to grab its prey, especially the great white shark. And so I think that you guys might be going deep, deep, deep into spiritual healing, really working on yourselves. And then you'll notice that this rebirth happens. Like you'll meet somebody new, some new slate will begin for you, where you are then prepared for a relationship. You're prepared for true partnership. And then I see you coming out of those depths and almost like aggressively going after what you want. And I see that here with the Four of Wands as well, with Venus and Aries. This is a very aggressive, like assertive kind of energy. Not aggressive in a bad way, but just dominating, like I will go after what I desire. And I really feel that with this shark card, that you guys are going to be coming from such a healed place. It's almost like a switch is flipping within inside of you and lighting you up with this Ace of Wands, turning you on. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, all my passion, all my fire is here. Now I can fully just run after life and tackle it head on and not be afraid of being rejected. There may be some fear with the lapis lazuli coming up as an advice card. There may be some fear of how to tell them or how to communicate. But I really see you doing it with this shark card. There's something around communication where maybe you could be kind of going after them in subtle ways. And the lapis lazuli is telling you to just like come out and be honest with it. So that might be the case with some of you, but I really feel like you are fixated and again, a very like assertive type of fashion. Like you're not just going to let this person go by. Like once you meet them, once you see them, you're going for it. Maybe some of you, it's not that you're meeting a specific person, but you're putting yourself out there in a more assertive way. You're like, okay, I'm healed. Now I know what I want. I'm going to go on the dating apps and go on a bunch of different dates and see. So maybe some of you guys are taking a more masculine approach. Either you are meeting somebody and you are becoming more masculine in your efforts to make them a partner, or you are taking a more masculine approach within the dating scene. But I definitely see you guys like taking control, taking the reins. It does not feel feminine at all. The only thing that feels feminine is the fact that you've done so much internal work, really in the depths, really in the shadows, getting to know yourself, getting to know the good, the bad, the ugly, healing and letting go of the past. And then from that, you are reborn and re-energized to take on the world. And because this is the energy, I feel like it is supportive. Like masculine energy is a good energy to have at the right times when we are coming from a healed feminine place. And I really see that you guys have done that work. So I think that this is honestly a good thing to come at it, even from an assertive approach, even if you are a woman. But maybe you're a man, so who knows? Okay, I asked like what would be what you get out of this, like what's part of the blessings essentially. And we have the productivity, victory, and focus. Oh my God, if this is not the energy that we're just talking about, I don't know what is. The productivity to me is very much this like masculine drive of like, this is what I want, this is what I'm going after, this focus and productivity card. Like you are making effort towards something. The productivity card also has Cancer on it. So there feels like something very feminine about it as well. So even though you're getting things done, I feel that you're doing them in the right way. You're being assertive and you're making things happen, but you're not forcing things. You're still listening to your heart because you're coming from a place of healing. So whenever we're coming from a purely or a hyper masculine place, and we haven't done the healing on our feminine side or our emotional side, what happens is that we can kick the masculine into overdrive and it can become toxic. So really what I see is because you have taken care of yourself and nourished and understood your own soul, when you take action and drive and assert yourself out in the world, it's coming from a heart-centered place. So you're being productive, you're being efficient, you're making things happen, but you're also doing it again from a place that's willing to nurture and love yourself. So again, I feel like you guys are really handling this in a really beautiful way where it's not toxic, like it's assertive but gentle at the same time. What's interesting is that both of these cards, actually all of them, holy crap, all of them have number 8 in numerology. 8, 44, 4 plus 4 is 8, 3 plus 5 is 8. So maybe you guys have 8 as strong in your numerology. 8 is also really important for business owners. So if for some of you guys, this is talking about something with business, although I feel like many of you guys, I mean, for some of you, this could be business instead of relationships, where you're finally having some kind of business breakthrough that you're passionate about. But regardless, 8 is a number of success and business and kind of becoming more financially abundant. So that also has an energy that is a little bit more masculine to it. So I'm really seeing that very strongly in these cards in general, and maybe 8 is significant for you in other ways. The focus and the victory card also have very masculine energy. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. Focus is a masculine thing. Feminine, and this is not talking about men and women, this is talking about energy. Focus here is saying that you have your eye on the prize, you know exactly what you want, you're extremely passionate right now, and victory is telling me that you are going to get it. Victory has the sign of Aries on it as well. It has a crown for a king. So there is basically saying that you're getting everything that you're looking for. And again, I think lapis lazuli is saying if you can share your truth vulnerably, you'll find that all of this, like putting yourself out there, gets you really far, because all you have to do is just assert yourself, say exactly how you feel and what you need, and it will be reciprocated. You will be victorious. Like you're not going to be rejected. But I think part of what the blessing is in this energy is not even so much that just you're having the victory, but that you know what you want and you're focused on creating it. I feel like maybe you guys have wasted so much energy in the past with settling, like I was saying, where you didn't really actually truly know what you wanted. Otherwise, you wouldn't have ended up in that place. And sometimes we have to get into these wrong relationships or wrong businesses, if that's what it is, so that we can realize what it is that we absolutely don't want to keep creating for ourselves. And I think that you guys have had those scenarios before. And then that's why you've done the healing, so that you can become ultra focused and clear on what it is that you are desiring to manifest. And I really see that you guys are doing that in a profound way. So I think one of the biggest first blessings coming out of this is understanding exactly what you need and focusing on getting that, instead of on why you can't have it or why life is hard or relationships are hard. Like I really feel that you guys are just immediately kind of manifesting what you desire. Okay. I asked what is standing in their way that they need to maybe work on, and I pulled the self-love card. So Freya, Lady of Love and War. I think that you guys have been caught a little bit in a battle of love and war, where it has felt like those two things might be one and the same, where it's maybe felt at times like you have to fight for what you want. You have to fight to be loved. And I really see there is so much masculine energy in here. You guys might predominantly be like assertive people in your life, but I think you might have done it from a place of not having enough self-worth and self-love, so that it came from a place of really having to push, push, push. And I feel that since you guys are going in within with this whale card and doing a lot more work on oneself and cultivating a lot more self-love and compassion, cultivating more of the feminine level of emotional attunement to oneself, meeting your own needs, understanding and healing your pains, because you've done that, now you can utilize your masculine energy in a way that doesn't feel like war anymore. Maybe you're pushing and this time you're actually getting somewhere, instead of feeling like you're constantly pushing and like trying to strive for love. I see that once this is healed, you put yourself out there and it happens. Like it immediately responds. And that's the thing, when we are balanced inside of ourselves and it's the right moment in time, you'll notice that your efforts are immediately matched with rewards. And when it's not the right time, the right person, the right place, or when we're not balanced inside, we can sometimes push and push and push and we don't get anywhere. And that's what I feel like you've been doing. And you've been maybe entering into relationships that make you feel like you are having to climb up all these mountains and you're trying to figure everything out and put so much effort and you don't even know if it's going to make it. And it's felt like this maybe kind of battle within yourself where you love them, but you also are exhausted by this experience because you're having to hold on and do so much. Whereas this feels like you do something and it responds, and that's a huge difference. And I think that's almost going to retrain your heart and your mind to show it that the more that you love yourself, the more that you can actually create for yourself. And that you don't have to you don't have to try so hard to make something happen. That your efforts to keep yourself balanced, aligned, and sustained, that effort is actually enough for you to make yourself attractive to what you desire. And you don't have to go above and beyond and do X, Y, and Z to become attractive to what you desire. You have to take care of yourself first. The last card I have is the Sun. So the Sun is, it says spirit on here. The Sun in astrology has to do with our life force energy and is, again, a masculine energy, a masculine planet. So there's something here where you guys are getting clear on who you are. The Sun is our essence. It's what makes us special. It's our unique gifts. It's the thing that in many ways we can use to shine our light and be visible by other people around us, by just essentially being authentic to who we were meant to be. So I wonder if there was some of you that may have been inauthentic or afraid to shine your light bright, or who in some ways in the past were maybe focusing on everybody else's light. Like this could come around in many ways, but there's just some of you who have in the past not fully stepped up into what makes you so beautiful, what makes you so special, and like fully own that. And because you weren't fully owning that, you were having to work so hard. Let's say you're a fish and you're trying to fly. That fish is gonna have to work really hard to try to fly, and he'll never be good at flying, if he can even fly at all. And so that's what it's like when we're not living in our essence and we're not living in our spirit or our sun sign. And if you want to know what your essence is in astrology, then check out my video on my YouTube channel, which if I remember, I'll link it down below, but it's talking about what your essence is and how to find that. So if you're not living in your essence and you're trying to force yourself to be something you're not, you have to work really hard for that, and you get very little results out of it. You get the wrong relationships, they're misaligned friendships or romantic relationships, you get the wrong career, you're never really excelling at anything. And it's partially because you don't really love and respect your innate qualities. And so the world around you will also not love and respect those qualities. So I think that that's what's really switching here, is you guys are stepping more into your true masculine power, but it's coming from a place of being healed, of loving and respecting oneself, of coming from an emotionally attuned place where you're not just pushing your feelings aside, you're really addressing them. And because of that, you have all of this extra energy and passion to go after what you want and be victorious in it. And so this could be relationships, but for some of you, it could be something else. The sun is very much related to career, so that is a potential. And the Four of Wands is a card of celebration. So there could be something finally worth celebrating in your career life where things are finally balanced and fair. But for some of you, this will be relationships. So it's going to be either one, but the thing that needs to happen first is more love and respect for yourself, your own gifts, nurturing oneself, and then all of the rewards, all of the equal counterparts to that energy will be easy to manifest. All right, so I have some astrology dice here that is going to help us discover when this might happen. I'm going to use this houses thing in terms of months to see when it might happen. And then we're going to look at the different signs and planets to just get more energy. So when is this going to happen? And what is this about? Okay, so we have two months here. I don't know if that's autofocus or not. So, oh, I just changed it to 10. So 2 months, Saturn and Taurus. So Saturn and Taurus has to do with work and finances. And Taurus is also ruled by Venus, which is the planet of relationships. So I really think for you guys, it's going to go both ways. It's either going to be love or career. And in 2 months, things are going to be finally paying off for you, especially with Saturn. There's some kind of karma here that's fully played out, that you guys have put so much effort into things before, and it's finally going to come to fruition for you in the next 2 months, because you guys really deserve this. So congratulations, guys. If another pile calls to you, then feel free to click on another one. If not, definitely check out my essence video, which is basically all of the signs in astrology to understand what your essence is, which hopefully I will remember to link down below. And if you guys enjoyed this, please don't forget to give me a like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one. Bye. All right, pile number 2, you guys chose the fluorite. And I'm gonna go ahead and read what that says in this Mystic Rebel Oracle deck, which is a friend of mine. I highly recommend her cards. Fluorite. The flawless guidance of fluorite is no joke. This stone comes forward to let you know that you've got to connect the head, heart, and soul. You can't make fully informed or discerning decisions from just one of these places of processing. Fluorite was designed to perfectly connect mental cognition, intuitive vision, and emotional intelligence. These are the 3 most fruitful and essential points of your being for converting insight into action. Operating from just one of these points gives you only a partial picture. It's like trying to drive with one eye open. Not going to work. Align the mind, third eye, and heart in order to act from a place of pragmatic, empowered, compassionate wisdom. So this is part of your advice, fluorite. So let's see a little bit more around your tarot cards to see what this might be referring to. So we have the Lovers. We have the 6 of Cups, the Judgment, and the Knight of Swords. Okay. So immediately, one of the things that I'm feeling here is that the last oh, I guess I shouldn't tell you this. In case you feel called to the last group, I won't say it. But the Flory card here is talking, of course, about balancing the mind and the heart. And we have the Six of Cups next to the Judgment card. So I feel like there has been something that you guys have been processing from your past. The Six of Cups has a Sun and a Scorpio sign on it. So there's something about this that gives me the feeling of like trust issues from our past. Scorpio has a lot to do with trust. And with this bigger person giving this child a cup or sharing it, it looks like, actually they're kind of like running to the child and the child's just standing there. I feel like this is you guys doing inner child work, running to your inner child and giving it the emotional care and nurturance that it needs, that it may have somehow not gotten in childhood in the way that it needed to develop a sense of safety and trust with life. There may be a doubt that life has your back and life will support you. And so I think many of you are operating from a place of your mind rather than your heart in life and becoming more reliant on your intelligence or your mental faculties. Like, yeah, the more kind of pragmatic approach to life, because it feels safer to intellectualize. This is actually a common kind of coping style for how to deal with things, to intellectualize them. And my dog is drinking water, so maybe that's a sign. There's something around this where you guys are finally giving yourself the emotional support that you need, because water or cups are about emotions. So you guys are finally kind of satiating and alleviating some of these wounds from our past. And with the Judgment card, I feel like this is awakening something within you. It's transforming you with this Pluto here. You are becoming a changed person by going back and reparenting yourself. And as a result, I really see that your relationships are impacted very strongly. Because I think that with the Lovers and the Knight of Swords, you've been operating from a relationship with yourself and maybe also with a partner, if you have a partner, or anyone, I guess. You've been operating from a place of, I feel like, a lot of just the mental faculties, like a lot of, again, the intelligence, like, okay, what am I seeing in this situation? What am I hearing? How am I going to immediately react? The Knight of Swords is almost impulsive. I think many of you guys could have been at times impulsive with yourself. Like, I'm kind of getting a negative feeling from this card where you may have had moments where you have kind of run from your feelings or have been really avoidant or haven't had the right conversations with people, or your conversations have come from a mental place instead of a heart-centered place like the Lovers wants you to do. And I feel like you may have had a hard time maybe even seeing, like, if you're in a relationship, the other person's perspective. With this Lovers card, there's like a mirroring happening. Or you've maybe had trouble being that mirror and that support for yourself, where you've gone through something and maybe sometimes you haven't been your best friend because you maybe lacked trust with yourself or had issues in your relationship with yourself. And sometimes our mental faculties can turn against us. It's like, oh, I did this thing wrong. So logically, like, I am wrong, I am bad. And we start, when it's just from a mental place, it's heartless, right? It's not good for us. It has to be tempered by the soul, by the heart, by the spirit. And I think that you guys are finally, the transformation happening, the breakthrough that's happening is that you guys are finally having a full awakening to where you're not doing this anymore. You're not making impulsive decisions. You're not living fully from the mental faculty. I think that you guys are really coming back to yourself. You're learning how to meet yourself where you're at, mirror and attune to yourself in the way that you need,
and develop a trust for yourself and a trust for the world that I think is going to allow you to open up a lot more. But let's see what the other cards that we have coming up. So the next two cards I have are somewhat about timing. So we have the camel and the octopus. This is really interesting. For some reason, I kind of want to pull the next card. So this is more so about what blessing is coming, and we have clarity. So in terms of timing, these cards feel a little bit different from each other. I feel that this breakthrough is going to come for you guys when you are in the midst of a dry spell with this camel card. Something in your life not feeling fruitful or not moving as quickly and as lusciously as you would like. So let's say it's your career. It's like, I'm not having as much money in my career as I would like, and it feels like it's dry. Or in my love life, like I'm not getting my nourishment out of my partner, or I can't even find a partner, or I'm missing friends in a community. It's like some kind of feeling that you have to rely on yourself to get by. And because of this, it's actually making you turn within and emotionally and intellectually support yourself and talk to yourself through that dry spell, and not succumb to the normal pattern where if that would have happened before, you maybe would have made it mean all this stuff about you. And the only way to truly develop trust is by testing it. And I think that what went wrong with the Six of Cups is a break of trust, either with yourself, with your parents, or both. Like something happened in childhood where trust was broken. And you might break your trust with yourself where you don't follow through on certain things, or you don't hold certain boundaries and take care of yourself certain ways. And you might have been stuck in this pattern of breaking trust, or being in relationships that break trust, or not trusting the universe to support you. And I feel like in this dry spell, you're actually put to the test where you have the opportunity to decide to trust that you're going to be supported anyway. Decide to trust that like you can get through this period of time, and that you will have your own back, and that you're not going to freak out, and that you're still amazing and you're still doing well. And that's how you build the trust, is by putting it to the test. And with this octopus card, this has like a totally different energy, because this feels like a stalemate, and this feels like you're really, really busy. So it almost feels like there might be two distinct periods of time that this is developing over, and that it's not happening all at once. And this is often the case with the Six of Cups energy, because when we develop something from childhood, it doesn't just go away. I don't think that trust is developed overnight. It's slowly built by congruency and consistency. So it begins in the camel phase when things are dry and you are still having your own back and supporting yourself and believing that things will work out, believing that you're doing great, and talking to yourself from a compassionate, loving place. And then it continues on when you enter into a new cycle where you're actually very busy. So let's say you don't have customers, and then all of a sudden you have a lot of customers. Let's say you don't have friends, and all of a sudden you have a lot of friends. Let's say you don't have a partner, and then all of a sudden you have lots to do with your partner. It's like you're going through this transition where you're going from not having that thing to having that thing, but you're still needing to develop the trust in both phases. So one of them is like, I trust that it's going to work out, and that I'm supported, and that I can talk to myself in the way that I need to when things aren't going well. And the other is that, okay, things are going well. Can I trust that they will remain well? Can I trust that things are okay and that they're not just going to fall away? Can I trust that I can handle this thing in my life that I've wanted for so long? Like, can I not self-sabotage? Can I trust myself? And that's two different things. I think that you guys are building that within yourself, but it requires two different circumstances to fully create this experience that you're needing. And the true blessing that's coming out of this is clarity. This has Virgo on it. So I think many of you guys are entering a stage where you are able to see yourself very clearly. You're not having this feels very aggressive. Like this person even looks like a devil on it. He's so red. He's like stabbing the air and there's fire coming up. It feels like you guys were very aggressive with yourself and kind of mean. And I feel like you're transitioning out of this and you're having a lot more compassion. This is an eye on it. This feels like your third eye. You're finally seeing yourself with clarity through the soul so that you're not having as much criticism about a situation or about yourself because you have a bigger picture, a bigger vantage point, and you're not going to get bogged down in all the little things along the way and use those to beat yourself up. I really see that you guys are having wisdom. Clarity, I think, also will be clarity around life. The more the clarity that you have towards yourself, I think you'll have more clarity around, you know, how you operate, what you want, how to best navigate relationships with yourself, with others, how to best navigate your career. I think clarity is kind of just what it is. It's clarity. So these are the cards that talk about what you need to do or what's holding you back from this, what you need to work on. We have advocacy and death. Okay, so this advocacy card, it really feels like you having your own back. And this is something I work on with my clients in my coaching. I am very specifically drawn to working with people who have a wounded Mars or a wounded will, because this is something that I've had to work on. And advocacy is having a strong Mars or a strong will, a part of ourselves that is willing to fight for what we need and for what is right for us. Advocating for our needs in each and every moment to take care of ourselves. And there's a goat here, so it's like still working hard towards what we want to create, but making sure that along the way, we don't get left behind for some type of mission or purpose that's beyond ourselves. Like, no, we are a part of that mission and purpose, and our needs being met along the way is absolutely essential and a non-negotiable. So for example, let's say that you have a relationship and you decide to have a child together, and that's what this transformation is alluding to. It's like, no, I will have a child, but I will not lose myself in the mission of being a mother, that I don't take care of my own needs as a human being or as a woman. Or let's say I'm having a successful career. I'm not going to lose myself in the mission of providing a service or providing things for others. I'm going to make sure I get up and exercise and eat well. I'm advocating for myself and my needs and making sure that that's, again, a non-negotiable. And sometimes for you, maybe you have to fight against this Knight of Swords from yourself or others, where there might be some pushback, there might be some aggressiveness from yourself or others that you're like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not putting up with that. It's done. There's no more questions. It's done. And then we have the Death card. So I think in many ways, you guys are being reborn. Some part of you is dying off. And I really think it's this childhood part of you that is really afraid. That is really afraid that if it releases and relaxes and trusts, that if it lets go, that things are going to all fall apart and it's going to be really, really dangerous. And so this Death card to me feels like finally allowing yourself to relinquish control. Finally allowing yourself to feel everything in life and know that it's not in your hands at certain times, and that it's okay to trust that the best will work out and not have to, again, control things or hold on to things or fear things. It's like that worry isn't helping anything. That worry isn't changing your life in any way and just making you weaker. And I think that the Death is really just a release. Because think about what happens when you die. Like your body, everything shuts down. You have your last breath and you're just released into another form. And I really feel like you guys are releasing all that energy that you're holding on so tightly to preserve things as they were, to protect yourself, which is very much Sun and Scorpio. And you're allowing yourself to enter into life that you desire by no longer holding on to the past. And then the last card that I have for you guys is 10th House World. So I think that this has a lot to do with the career of your life, your purpose in life for many of you. This journey is going to help you discover more of that. That's part of what the breakthrough is it's going to impact your public standing, your career. But the 10th house also has to do with big things like getting married, having a kid, having these really big life chapters occur. So I think many of you guys might also find that as you do this, not only does your career expand and your purpose becomes clearer with the clarity card, but I think also you'll start to notice that some big life chapters will unfold along with this. And it's because you finally let go that you have a lot more spaciousness to enter into your life now. So I'm gonna roll some dice, astrology dice, and there is this one that usually is associated with the houses and has numbers 1 through 12. We're gonna use this for the months. So whatever number comes up is the months away that this is. And I do think, again, this is spanning across 2 cycles of time. So I do think that this could represent maybe a little bit more periods, maybe a little bit longer period than the last group, for example. And then we're gonna get more information from just the planets and the signs. So let's go ahead and see when is this happening for pile number 2? 1 month, oh my God. So maybe for some of you, this is indicating 1 month. Maybe for some of you, it's 1 year, but maybe you guys have been in this camel and this transition for a while now already. So I think for those of you who this represents a year, maybe you are still in the phase of talking really negatively to yourself. For those of you who are just 1 month away from this breakthrough, this is an indication that you guys have been in the dry spell and you've already kind of started to work on your self-talk and you've already put a stop to it in some ways about worrying about this dry spell, and then you're going to transition to the octopus, things picking up in a really big way, I think, over the course of the next month, and you'll have your trust put to a different test as you move forward. We also have Aquarius energy and Venus, so this could have to do with money as well, with Venus, money and relationships. This could absolutely affect those areas of your life. How worthy are you? How good are you at embracing receiving? Because a lot of this lack of trust with the Sun and Scorpio is preventing you from fully opening like a flower to receive the nectar of life, to receive feminine energy from the universe that desires to support and nourish your soul. And I really feel like with this Aquarius energy, you guys have been feeling like you've had to do everything on your own, and that you don't belong, and that it's the feeling of like, I have to figure this out on my own. But really, you just have to let go of control and the world will nurture you in the ways that you need. You've already done so much work. So really stepping into your feminine. And then the Aquarius, I also think, has to deal with feeling like you found a community as well of people that love you and support you and understand you. And I think you're going to be making that transition from I'm alone to I am supported. And it's primarily because I think you're giving that to yourself, but then I think it's just going to reflect back in your relationships around you as well. And then lastly, I think Aquarius could also represent an online community. So maybe some of you guys are finding that support and that connection on the internet and like trying something new, trying something different online than you've done before, and finding a lot of success or luck in that area of your life. So that is what I'm seeing for you, pile number 2. I hope that you enjoyed this. If so, definitely make sure you give me a thumbs up and comment down below and subscribe, and check out my other videos with astrology and tarot. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye. All right, up next we have pile number 3. We have Herkimer, and I feel very strongly that I'm saying that wrong. So if you guys know how to pronounce that, let me know in the comments down below through your fun spelling, because I would love to know how to actually say that correctly. Okay, so in this book, The Mystic Rebel Oracle deck, Herkimer says, through the clarity of Herkimer, it's easier to see yourself as you truly are. You're being invited to stop striving to become anyone other than yourself. There's nothing to fix, change, or become. Desiring to be anyone but yourself is a tragic waste of your unique brand of magic and splendor. Herkimer opens your crown chakra to help you see that you're a divine child of the cosmos. Crafted with care from stardust to be exactly who you are. Your creation is no mistake, and you're meant to share your one-of-a-kind soul with this world. Only you can do what you do. Okay, so we're going to see a little bit more about what that means in a second, but we're going to put that aside and come back to it once we look at your tarot. So I'm looking them all upright. We have the Strength card, the Three of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Okay, well, I can kind of see what's going on now. So I definitely feel like the breakthrough that's coming for you guys has to do with relationships, and definitely holding better boundaries for sure. So part of what we're seeing here with the Five of Wands is that many of you guys might be in a current situation where people are just finding you disagreeable, or there's something in the relationship where you're fearful to like shine your light, shine your unique qualities. This could be with a specific person or a group. I think for many of you it will be a group or more than one person. But with Saturn being in the sign of Leo with this Five of Wands, Saturn is a really restrictive force, and Leo is our unique essence, our sun, our light force energy, our gifts. And Saturn is there criticizing us, like, don't do that, don't be that way. It feels very aggressive, like an attack on our character. And so some of you guys might be going through that in, oh my gosh, these cards like will not stay straight. You guys might be going through that where you are having some kind of attack on your character that is making you anxious. But with the Queen of Swords, I see you stepping into greater self-love by holding important boundaries. The Queen of Swords, she has these beautiful wings on them, like dragonfly wings, that it feels like they help her soar. Her high vantage point, her clarity from above is helping her see that this situation is petty. This situation is not worth getting dragged into or getting upset about. She's discerning. She knows what is worth her time and attention and even her thoughts and what isn't. And as a Queen of Swords, she also has control over her mind. So she's not going to allow the antagonism of others or feeling like you don't belong to get a hold of her. She's not going to allow people to judge her character and for that to actually impact her. Instead, she has the sword of truth in her hand, the sword of clarity, where she's able to see herself through honest eyes. And she can see maybe there is some truth to some of what they say, and maybe there isn't. But she's able to see that with non-judgment. She's also holding really important boundaries, like I mentioned. She's not willing to put up with this bullshit. She's not going to sit there and be attacked when it's not truthful and it's not right. And this is her saying, I'm going to remove myself or this person from the situation because this is not worth my energy and my time. And I really see you guys doing that. I see you laying down the law. This is a queen. She's laying down the law to these servants who are just over here fighting, who are unruly, who are just having unnecessary drama. And she comes in here regal as fuck and is like, can you guys just stop? Like, you're being children. And I see you guys doing that within your relationships or within yourself, even if that doesn't mean having a conversation with people about it, even if that simply means it's a decision within your own mind of, okay, I'm not going to invest further into this friend group. I'm not going to invest further into this dynamic. I'm not going to fight back. I'm just going to do my own thing and kind of hold my head high. Or maybe it is very, very much like, you're not going to say that to me anymore. And I'm going to have a very strong boundary that I speak to you. It's going to vary depending on your individual situation. With the Three of Cups, what this is leading to, I feel, is you guys moving towards community that actually is supportive to you. We have the Queen of Swords, and on either side is a different path to take. we have the Five of Wands, which is this unruly friendship group or relationship that is just honestly unnecessary and chaotic and aggressive. And we have the Three of Cups, which is a bunch of gal pals having fun in the woods, having a few drinks. Like, this is Mercury in Cancer. This is people who enjoy and celebrate the same things that you do, that share the same empathy towards you, that enjoy using their intuition, that are soft with you, that are careful in what they say to you and care about what you say and are emotionally supportive of you. And I really feel that once you set the rules, once you lay down the law, you will only allow this in and you will accept nothing less. And with the Strength card next to it, I feel that this is saying that maybe this is, you are in the midst of the Five of Wands and it's telling you to have patience and to hold your Leo energy. With the Five of Wands, we have Saturn and Leo. Your Leo is being challenged. Your uniqueness, your essence, your divine beauty, your courage, what makes you great, what makes you shine bright, is being challenged by others. And this Herkimer card is coming in as advice as well, saying, you guys don't have to worry. Like, you are meant to be who you are. This criticism, this BS from other people, it's always gonna be there, but you just choose to not engage. You just choose to shine your light anyway. And that's what this Strength card is saying, that maybe you don't immediately find this group of friends. Maybe you do. Or maybe this isn't an immediate relationship that shows up in your life. And if that's the case, hold strong to your beliefs about yourself. Hold strong to your character. Because you are a courageous and beautiful person. And you have the discernment to know what is and isn't true. And you can trust yourself. You can trust yourself to make decisions, to hold boundaries, to become friends with the right people, and to leave the relationships that show you they're not worthy of your time and your energy. So it's just about patience and courage. So we have one card for timing, which is the Rabbit. So this is interesting because the Rabbit has a very kind of like nervous energy to it. So I almost feel like this breakthrough is happening for you when you are in the midst of the pain, where you are starting to doubt yourself, where you are starting to worry and have fear with this Five of Wands. Like fear that things are not safe, fear that things are not well. Like the Rabbit is just a very kind of, it scurries around a lot. Like it's always running from prey and what it thinks could be prey. So I think that when your breakthrough happens, you're kind of caught right in that pressure point of, oh my gosh, I gotta get the fuck out of here. This is not a safe situation. These people are crazy. I can't believe this right now. You know, maybe what they're saying is right. I don't know. I feel like you guys are in that situation and then boom, the Queen of Swords happens. Where you're like, no, they are wrong. I am right. I should not engage with this. This is petty. The fact that I'm this scared of these people, the fact that I'm this anxious around these people is sign enough to me that I'm disengaging. So that's when your breakthrough is happening. That's when the line is drawn, the boundary is drawn, when you sense how anxious you are and it's almost like your nervous system can't relax. That's how the bunny feels or the rabbit feels. So I really feel like you guys are going to finally just decide at that point that you're not willing to put up with this anymore. The thing about the rabbit is that it reproduces really easily. And so I think that this is saying also to have hope that when this breakthrough does happen, you will have an easier time transitioning relationships than maybe you realize. That it's a little bit more fruitful or abundant in terms of the right people being out there than you realize. And then once you step away, you're gonna be like, why did I ever settle for that toxic environment? Why did I ever put up with people who dim my light when I could have been with people who celebrated me, who loved me, who encouraged me and supported me? It just feels a lot more emotionally fulfilling. Okay, these next cards are about what blessings are coming. We have communication and memory. Okay, well, communication, I definitely feel like has a lot to do with this relationship dynamic where you're communicating your boundaries with the Queen of Swords. You're saying what can and cannot happen. But you see how communication has Pisces on here? I really feel like you guys are communicating from a place of love, compassion, higher vantage point, higher understanding. Like I was saying, it's not just this sort of like, I'm not getting the normal energy of the Queen of Swords, which can be kind of bitchy, where it's like, nah, fuck off. No, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like you're communicating from a place of love. Maybe there's fear there as well, but at some point you're just like, okay, I'm ready to write you a message. Maybe you're texting somebody. I'm ready to, you know, lovingly step away from this dynamic. I don't want to add more fuel to the fire. I'm just going to say exactly what I need, exactly what I want, and kind of step aside. And I think one of the blessings that's coming from this is that you'll actually see that this sets you free. Pisces is a big sign around releasing. So I think that you guys will feel a sense of peace and calm once you communicate this that the rabbit did not have. And this memory card, I feel kind of drawn to read part of what it says in the book and then my own explanation. Memory says, deeper levels of connection with people, concepts, and plans are all areas that Rosemary works with. You are reminded to ensure that you are in touch with your inner wisdom, paying heed to the past, and have cleared what needs to be released. Listen to your intuition as it's calling you at present. Be wary of gossip or becoming tactless or too forceful. Okay, well that feels really applicable. So not being tactless in communication, not being forceful, not being bitchy. Also not gossiping about what happened, just letting it go, being respectful of yourself and others, and just walking away. And this is going to allow you to have deeper connections, as it's saying, deeper levels of connections with people. And it's also saying that you're paying heed to the past and your inner wisdom. So what this is telling me is that this situation is not going to repeat itself. Once you step away from this and you move towards this community of loving individuals, you don't have to worry about this community turning against you. You don't have to worry about people falling into this old past cycle, because you have your own memory of what happened. You have already learned the lessons. Like this book here, you have this book to look back on. You have this discernment, this past to look back on, to kind of filter through what feels right and what doesn't feel right. What feels like it's lighting you up with this Leo sign and the strength Leo is a lot of Leo energy. Like what lights you up? What brings you joy? You're going to really know that. And you're never going to repeat this cycle with people again, because you have a lot more discernment over what you want and over what you need in a situation. So I don't think you have to worry if you're fearful of that. It's just the past is just gonna repeat itself. So the next card is what you need to work on in order to ensure that you get what you want. And we have the rewilding with Grandmother Moon, rewilding. Okay, so this rewilding card, it feels like you are stepping away from the preset path. And there might have been like a way that everyone was doing things, or there might have been a way that you've been living your life up until now that was somewhat like expected. There's something around here where you're like, no, I'm going to go off the beaten path. I'm going to go off into nature by myself. I'm going to let out my emotions. I'm going to howl at the moon. I'm going to feel the water in my fingers and the sand in my toes. And it's like you're not only are you stepping away from this toxicity, but you're also returning to Mother Nature. You're returning to your own instincts. You're returning to the part of you that is just completely naturally expressive of itself and not hindering itself. It's not feeling like it needs to say or do something in a certain way. Like that's very Saturn and Leo, where it's like, oh, I can't say that thing. Like I'm gonna get yelled at by this group or this person. It's like you're finally stepping away from all of that, and
You're letting your hair down. So the advice here is to let yourself be wild, be free, be natural, and not let people censor you or contain you or restrict you through their criticism or their doubt or their negativity. Because you have the power of nature and the wild on your side. You were meant to be this way. Like the Herkimer card said, nature made you this way. You were meant to be this way. It doesn't matter what other people say and their opinions. What matters is how you feel about yourself and how you let you express yourself. And I just saw 555. So it feels like a liberation, like a Uranus energy, like get me free, get me out of here. And I really see that this is part of what you're meant to do. The last card that we have is Capricorn I use. So this Capricorn energy very much reminds me of the Saturn with Leo. I mean, it's Capricorn is the ruler of Saturn, or Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So there's something here around limitations that you are exceeding. There's something here around traditions or ways of doing things that you're no longer going to respect with this rewilding card. And I think it's really good because there's something about it where you maybe need to make your own traditions. You maybe need to make your own way of doing things with your own group of friends, talking about what you like to talk about, doing what you like to do. It feels like this Capricorn card was too much structure. And if you fell out of line, then you were hit with a wand and you were put back into line. And it's like, I'm going to wild myself out and I'm going to rebuild my own little world over here. And there's a streak of white just running through this card. It feels like this light is going to be emanating through you. And that's really what I see with all this Leo energy as well. It's like once you allow yourself to live totally in alignment with who you were meant to be and not fall in line with whatever everyone else is saying, you'll find that you actually attract more people like you with this Three of Cups. You attract more people through your light. You're going to have so much radiance. You're going to be so magnetic that the right people will find you. The wrong people might still find you, but you'll have your boundaries to say no. And now you can go out into the world and maybe even work in a job, for example, that feels more like you. Or have some kind of structure or routine that actually feels like you. There's something where you're taking the traditions and reworking them in a way that suits you and your unique light. And as a result, you'll not only feel healthier and stronger, but you'll also attract the people who enjoy that same thing. So you'll have that community as well. So that looks really beautiful. I'm going to roll some astrology dice to wrap up. This I'm using for timing. These have 1 through 12 for the houses, but I'm going to use it in terms of months. How far away is this breakthrough in months? And then we'll get more information through the signs and the planets. So let's go ahead and see how far away is this for pile 3. Oh my God, it just flew off the table. It hasn't done that for anybody else. And it landed with Cancer up. Oh, I love that because this Three of Cups is Mercury in Cancer. This says 2, which for some of you might mean 2 months or 2 years. And then we have the moon, which is also linked with Cancer. Wow, okay. So 2 months or 2 years away. I think for some of you guys, this could be really quite fast. We have 5 of Wands, Queen of Swords. These are pretty fast energies where you're like, I can't tolerate this anymore. The bunny's really fast. So I really feel that for most of you, it's going to be within a matter of months. It's weird. Everybody's getting like 1 or 2 months. So this must have been like a kind of urgent and timely reading for me to want to do this today because this really wasn't on my agenda. We have Cancer and the moon. So many of you guys, what you're getting out of this is feeling like you are totally yourself. If you know anything about the moon, it's who you are behind closed doors. It's your truest nature. It's the thing that makes you feel satiated, satisfied, like all your needs are met, like you are nourished on a soul level. And being in the sign of Cancer, which is where the moon likes to be, it's showing me that you are now able to feel your best. You're now able to process your emotions in the moment. You have people who are willing to listen to you. You are authentic to who you are.
You are emotionally expressive. Maybe in some ways in this Five of Wands group, you were not allowed to be emotionally expressive with the Saturn and Leo. It's like you did that and you got chastised. And I really see you guys communicating with this communication in Pisces from a heart-centered place, and that being really well received. So it feels a lot like a softening, an opening, a receptivity that's bringing in more softening in your relationships, more acceptance from others, because you're doing that. You're protecting yourself firmly. You're softening within yourself and attracting more of that energy to you. So this feels very, very loving, very positive. I'm excited for you guys and your breakthrough. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, comment down below if it resonates, and don't forget to subscribe. I love you guys so much. Have a good one. Bye. All right, and last but not least, we have Pile 4, which you chose the Amethyst card. And I'm gonna start off by reading the Mystic Oracle deck to see what it says for Amethyst. All right. Spirit knows that you've been toiling over an important decision, feeling unsure of what to choose. So you've been sent a helper in the form of amethyst. The stone is calming and integrating, helping you to feel self-assured and balanced as you consider your options. Amethyst is guiding you to find a middle ground in the midst of extreme energies that pull your mind in different directions of what ifs that may come to pass based on this decision. When you operate from that emotional equilibrium, you can make a decision from a place of empowerment in which you're level-headed with a clear spiritual vision. Alternatively, you may only be exploring this choice you face from polar extremes. Let amethyst shine color into a situation that you may believe is purely black and white. Odds are there is more to see here than you can consider with rigid thinking. Okay, so very interesting. So seeing things from multiple perspectives. Let's go ahead and move on to the other cards to see how that relates. So I'm reading them all upright today. We have the Five of Swords, the Page of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. Interesting. Okay, so with the Five of Swords energy, I feel like you guys are maybe experiencing a little bit of anxiety. I often see the Five of Swords as like, yes, some level of disagreement or fighting, you know, one person's winning. That's like kind of like the traditional way of seeing it. But I often see the Five of Swords as being in conflict with oneself. And it really reminds me of like those pinball machines where you like click with your thumbs and like the ball just like flies up and just gets knocked around. That feels like the energy of the Five of Swords, where our thoughts are just kind of getting knocked all around in our head. And we are really struggling to find a sense of calm and serenity. And this could also be affecting your relationships. That is a potential as well. And I feel like maybe some of you guys are struggling, like this card said, to commit to a decision, because I think many of you know that it's going to be something that will affect you on the long term. And this message almost feels like pretty simple so far. So I kind of want to pull some more cards, because I feel like the breakthrough that's happening is that you're moving from a place of anxiety and worrying a lot about something and arguing with yourself in your own head about which way to go or what to do or how to handle something. And I see you just simply choosing one path with the Page of Wands, like finding what your inspiration is, finding that thing that lights you up a little bit more and that excites you, and deciding, just making a decision, like I'm gonna do this thing. And then the Seven of Pentacles is like, okay, I commit to it. I water my garden every day. I chose these seeds. I'm gonna water them. I will do it every single day. I will show up, rain or shine. And then the Queen of Wands is like, okay, and then I develop confidence and a sense of success. And I'm happy that I listened to my intuition. My intuition has grown as a result of following it from the first place. So I'm coming from this mental place of wondering and thinking, from this logical mind of worrying and back and forth, to slowing down and tuning into what inspires me, what lights a flame within me, what gets me going. And as I light that flame and choose that flame and water it every day, it grows into a burning fire where I now can recognize with ease what excites me and what path to follow, because now my intuition is so strong because I've developed it by continuing to follow it over time. And you can see all these little flames on her crown. I really feel like she just has so many passions. So this Page of Wands thing, this decision that was made, grew into something a lot bigger. It's like it networked and branched out into this larger tree that now the Queen of Wands can get to sit on her throne and enjoy the lushness of, because she watered that garden every single day until it grew into this massive entity, an ecosystem where it can take care of itself, and there's so many things in it that she can enjoy. And now she has lots of passions, lots of intuition, lots of confidence because of this original decision to commit to something, to commit to one thing with Saturn and Taurus. And once you commit to one thing, then it can grow into many things. And some of you guys might be struggling by trying to commit to too many things. You have 5 swords here. There might be 5 different ideas, 5 different things that you're arguing with yourself about. And it's not about saying no to those things. It's about saying not right now. Because you can't do 5 things at once. You can't. You only have so much energy. You'll run yourself into the ground. You won't do them well enough. And the Page of Wands and 7 of Pentacles, especially 7 of Pentacles, is saying choose one thing and then fully commit to that thing with Saturn and Taurus. Like, give it your all. Give it your 110%. Show up every single day. And if you try to have 5 different gardens to water, that's going to make it so much harder to grow whatever this is that you're trying to grow. Because you're going to be spreading yourself so thin, you won't have as much water, you won't have as much time, and it won't become the Queen of Wands. So I see you going through this breakthrough transformation of, I don't know. And it seems like very clear. Like, you decide, you commit, you're excited, you follow your intuition, you grow it, and you have so much as a result of that. So let's look at timing. We have the dragonfly. So the dragonfly talks about our mindset, actually. So the timing feels like it could happen at any moment. It's an air sign. It's an air animal. It's changeable with the wind. So at any moment, you can decide to change your mind. And we're going to roll the dice at the end about, when that might be for you. But this is saying that all the cards are on the table for you right here, right now. You can decide in this exact second what you want to do in this reading. What inspires you? What lights your fire? What gets you going? And then you know. And again, it's not that you have to reject everything else. It's that you pause those things. And with the Queen of Wands has all of the wands. She has everything that she wants. So you come back to them. They develop naturally. Once one ecosystem's going, you can start another one. You don't have to put as much effort. So the dragonfly is like, girl or boy, whoever is watching this is available to you right now. You don't have to go through some transformation. You just decide. This reading feels a lot simpler than the rest of them. Everyone else kind of had to go through something to get to what they wanted. And yes, you guys have to go through something, but it's really just about deciding and just doing it. Whereas everyone else, it felt like there was almost a little bit of an overcoming. You guys just have yourself. You just have a decision. It's a black or white, yes or no, this or that. And so it feels pretty straightforward, and it doesn't mean it's easy, but you will commit. You will decide. So the rest of these next 2 cards are about what you're getting as a blessing. So we have cleansing and duality. So I really feel, it's funny because cleansing has Gemini on it. So part of what you're doing is, I think that you're learning how to like prune your mind. You're learning how to cleanse your mind, because Gemini has to do with our mind and our mental faculties. So many of you guys, I think, have been caught up in the webs of Gemini, and you haven't learned the art of pruning like Gemini can do. So it's like, I'll take this information, I'll leave that. I'll take this idea, I'll leave that. and you kind of piece it all together in just the right way that fits you and your needs and what you want at that time. And so I think that you guys are learning the power of pruning your mind for what it is that you really want, and learning how to leave the rest, not behind, but in less of an area of focus. So a trained Gemini mind knows how to discern what information is relevant and what ideas are important right now, and what information isn't relevant right now, and what ideas are not important right now. And so what I feel like you guys are coming into is the ability to discern at any given moment where my focus and my attention needs to be, what information and ideas and everything apply right now, and what maybe I can put aside for later, or what might be completely irrelevant. The duality card, I feel like, is showing you that you're learning a lesson around there always has to be some give and take. And this is probably a reading for my air signs and my fellow Geminis out there. But the duality card is telling me that you cannot have it all in one moment. You have to choose. And there's always, every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. This is 2 and 7 on this card as up to 9, which is related to endings and wrapping things up. So in some ways, you guys are understanding that in order to create the life that you want and this new beginning for yourself, you have to end things. You have to say no to some things. You have to have discernment over what's working, what isn't working. And there are sacrifices that have to be made. You only have 24 hours in a day. You can't spend all day with your family and your friends and your children and work out and go to work and sleep 8 hours and do self-care and cook a great dinner and travel and write a book. It's like, you have to decide. We only have so many hours in one day. You literally have to say yes and no to something, and recognize that every no is a yes to something else that is more important to you, and every yes is a no to something else that is less important to you. And understanding that the sacrifice, the duality of this, doesn't mean that it can't come back around. Doesn't mean that if it's super important, it won't arise again, is going to be, I think, important message here as well. Because I feel like you guys might be fearful of letting go of some of these ideas because you've grown attached to them. But it's okay, because they're not going away forever. They're just not right now. Because you have to have a priority and a focus to accomplish something important in your life. Otherwise, you're going to get nowhere. And that's the duality of life. Okay, this is the next card. This is what you're gaining as a blessing. The next card is what you need to do in order to create this. This says self-discovery. So you guys need to understand with the Page of Wands and the Anastasia self-discovery, you need to understand yourself, because you need to understand what it is you truly desire out of life. The Page of Wands is going on a journey. They're on a journey to discover themselves, but they're following their passions. They're following, in some instances, their whims or what feels right in the moment. And they are allowing that light to lead them through this forest of darkness. They don't really know where they're going. She doesn't really know where she's going. She doesn't know the end destination yet. She aspires to a certain end destination with the Queen of Wands, but you don't actually know. And I think sometimes the fear of the unknown and not knowing which one's going to work out, which one's not going to work out, or how things will manifest is part of what keeps people in this Five of Swords loop of like, well, I'm just going to keep thinking about it, and I'm just going to keep worrying about it, because then I don't have to commit to a certain path and face the potential of that path not working out like I'd hoped, aka face the potential for failure. And so I think some of you guys need to go deeper within yourself and realize that there might be a deeper fear around failure, around things not working out, around having control, having to know and anticipate everything. And that's not life. That's not ever going to happen. You're going to have to just wander into the darkness without knowing, and you're just going to have to do it anyway. Keep trying every day, day after day, even though you don't even know if the sprouts are going to come up out of the soil. Water it anyway. You go there blindly, looking and staring at soil, pouring water on it and hoping that things turn out the way that you think they will. And they won't, because things never turn out exactly as how we think, because that is not life. And that's okay. That's what makes life fun and interesting. But I think it's making it stressful for you. And it takes some degree of blind faith, knowing and trusting yourself, especially with this self-discovery and this light up in this forest. It's like she knows what she wants, and she's taking it every day, step by step, towards what she wants, because she trusts her own inner light to take her there. And if something feels off, if something feels wrong, then you pivot. And eventually you get to the Queen of Wands, and you get to this abundance where you get to enjoy the fact that you took a chance and took a risk on something, and you've built it up, and it's fruitful. And I do see that being fruitful for you, so you don't have to worry about that. And then your last card is the Grand Trine Blessing. So if you guys are worried about this not turning out in your favor, just know that it will. The Grand Trine is something that comes very easily to us. You are innately skilled at it. So if there is a Page of Wands passion that inspires you and is something that you're just naturally good at, but you're having doubt that you can even do it because it's too easy, or because, oh, life doesn't work that way, or whatever messaging you've had, know that you are meant to do that. You are meant to follow this creative passion. You are meant to shine your unique gifts and follow those. The Grand Trine is saying that it should be easy. It should be fun. It should light you up. It should flow. This message, like I said, is so straightforward because it just flowed. Like once you make the decision, it just flows to your desired outcome. Even though, of course, it won't turn out exactly how you think, because life is so much more nuanced, but it's going to turn out probably even better than you think. And it's flowing in a very easy, sequential, simple fashion because you're following your heart and your passions and your unique gifts. And those things come easily. You were built for them on a DNA level, on a cellular, energetic level. You were quite literally manufactured by the gods to look and behave and be good at certain things and think a certain way and feel a certain way to create this desired result. So trust that. Trust that this blessing is meant for you. And maybe some of you guys even have some really beautiful trines or even a grand trine in your chart indicating that this is a blessing, but don't become complacent, because trines, grand trines especially, that are not cultivated, that just sit there as gifts in our life, are the definition of wasted potential. This is the writer who is the most incredible, gifted writer that you've ever seen. Think about somebody at your school who is super fucking smart. Think about that person and how they maybe never had to try in high school, and then they go on to life and you're like, that person's gonna be so successful. They're gonna be the next Elon Musk. They're gonna be killing it. They're gonna be a millionaire. And then you see them go on in life and they keep that same attitude of I'm just good. I don't have to try that hard. I can skate through life. And they actually don't get very far. And it's not because they're not smart. It's not because they don't have talent. They have everything right there at their fingertips, but they never applied it. They never applied themselves. They never developed discipline. They never went day after day to the water to garden it. And as a result, they don't have plants or a tree or an ecosystem to show for it. So don't be that person. You have to discipline. You have to commit. You have to be there every single day. Saturn and Taurus, without fail, committed 110% to this discovery and this journey. And that way you'll best utilize your blessings and your talents, and you'll have the potential to create, again, the life that you're looking for. But you can't just have talent and you can't just have work. You have to have both. And once those come together, that's when the Queen of Wands is within reach. All right, so we're gonna wrap up with these Astro dice. The one with 1 through 12, which is normally associated with houses, I'm gonna use for months. And then I have the planets and the signs for further clarification. So, Spirit, when is this breakthrough happening for pile number 4? So we have number 2. Oh my God, this has landed on 1 or 2 for every single group. So I don't know what the F is going on. I'm just saying this is like a very urgent message I feel that needed to come out. So 2 months away for you guys, this breakthrough. That doesn't mean that, this could even be 2 days away, because this, like I said, could happen in an instant with making a decision. But I almost feel like the 7 of Pentacles could be 2 months away, where you're like, okay, I know what I want, I committed to it, and then I'm in the process of creating it, because it's literally, it rolled onto this one, or I put it there. So I do think that that's where you're going to be in the developmental phase of this 2 months from now. We have Scorpio energy, and we have the North Node. So first of all, the North Node is indicating that this is fated for you, that this was meant to happen. You guys have this innate skill, and you were meant to develop it in this lifetime. And do not waste it. Do not waste this grand trine. You have something really special that you're just sitting on, that the world needs, and that as a soul you were meant to do and evolve into. In this phase of like worrying and not deciding is honestly a cop-out to avoid your potential, to avoid the evolution of your soul. You're stalling. It's okay. We all do it. But it's time to come out of that, decide in the moment now that you're committing to a decision. Right after this reading, I want you to meditate and actually decide. Journal with yourself. Decide what you need. And with this Scorpio, I think that there is something here along the lines of needing to go within and trust yourself and trust the universe, that you can have what you want, that you can create what you want. Scorpio is also about doing a deeper dive into your own psyche to discover what are the limitations and blocks and mindsets holding you back. The self-discovery card to me is indicating that there are some barriers that you've put up for yourself that you need to work through, and it's going to be unique to each individual, but actually honing down on what your exact thoughts are that are preventing you from moving forward is key. And this is actually something I'm helping my astrology coaching clients with their Mars in particular, which is our ability to take action and initiative towards our goals. Many people have a wounded Mars, and they get in their own way of taking action towards success. And so if you want some support with that, I can help you at willsboom.com. Check that out. Otherwise, make sure that you're doing self-coaching on your own, where you're journaling, reflecting, meditating on what it is psychologically that's getting in your way of success. Because it's not, I see the action, I see everything playing out. It's not life circumstances, it's not things getting in your way, it's you getting in your own way. So that's why you need to do some reflection, and then after that you will get that Queen of Wands, confidence and success. So that's what I'm seeing, you guys. Trust your intuition, trust your feelings, your excitement. You will be committed once you are there. I'm very excited for you. If you enjoyed this, if it resonates, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a beautiful day. Bye.